Hi, so in this episode I'm going to show you how to make a really healthy, simple, and delicious granola. So if that sounds good to you, then keep watching. I'm Diana Goldman and you're watching Beantown Kitchen, where plant-based dishes are shared that you and your body will love. So if you've watched any of my other videos or you've read any of my blog posts on Beantown Kitchen, you might know that my husband is a vegan triathlete and he's recently competed in the Ironman World Championships. He loves this granola for breakfast or as a snack because it's particularly iron rich because of the pumpkin seeds and the blackstrap molasses that's in this. So keep watching. I'll show you the other ingredients in this granola and then I'll show you how to make it. So there's one basic formula to know when you're making granola. You want 6 parts dry ingredients to 1 part wet ingredients. The dry ingredients that I'm using for this granola are rolled oats, almond meal, coconut flakes, dried cherries, pumpkin seeds, and cinnamon and salt. So for this recipe, I'm going to be using 6 cups of dry ingredients, the ones I just showed you. And if I'm following that ratio, therefore I want 1 cup of wet ingredients. The wet ingredients that I'm going to be using are maple syrup, blackstrap molasses, and then some vanilla. So now I'm going to add the dry ingredients to the bowl and give them a good stir. So the ones that I'm using are just a suggestion. There's all sorts of other types of dry ingredients that you could use following the ratio that I gave you. So for instance, I'm using dried cherries. You could use different types of dried fruit. I didn't add any nuts to this granola, but walnuts, pecans, hazelnuts would be great. And all sorts of different types of seeds. And I'm using an almond meal just because I have a lot left over when my husband makes almond milk, which is pretty frequently. One day I'm going to put a video up for that. But if you could eliminate the almond meal and just use rolled oats if you wanted to in place of the almond meal. Okay, now I'm going to add the wet ingredients. Some alternative wet ingredients that you could use would be things like agave, or I like to use applesauce sometimes. This happens to be an oil-free granola, but sometimes people like to add coconut oil to their granola as well. So following the 6-to-1 ratio, the granola should be just about the right amount of moisture. But if it seems a little bit dry, you might want to add about a tablespoon or more of one of the wet ingredients. In this case, I'm going to add some maple syrup. And I find that the consistency is just about right. If you take a handful of the granola in your hands and you press it together, it will feel like the consistency of a raw cookie. Now spread the granola out on a cookie sheet covered with parchment paper or maybe a silpat sheet, and you want to spread it out evenly. And then bake it in the oven at 300 degrees Fahrenheit for about 50 to 70 minutes. And what will happen is the edge of the granola is going to brown and dry before the granola that's in the middle of the cookie sheet. So you want to take it out about halfway through and just use a spatula or a spoon to swap places. So you'll know the granola is done when it is mostly dry and crunchy. At this point, you can store it in an airtight container for a week or 2 and then enjoy it as we do, in this case with some fruit, some rolled oats, and a coconut yogurt. There are so many different ways to make granola, and if you have your own favorite recipe, I would love to hear about it in the comment section below this video, or if you do make this granola, I'd love to hear about that too. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. A plant-based diet is great for the planet, it's great for the animals, and it's great for you. Lots of love to you.